Multiplying monomials by polynomials. Determine each product, use a strategy of your choice. So one strategy that we can use is the distributive property. With the distributive property, the first term has to get multiplied by each term in our polynomial. So in the first example, 2a times 5a will be 10, and a times a is a squared. In the second example, 4b has to get multiplied by 3b and then by negative 2. So 4b times 3b, 4 times 3 is 12, b times b is b squared. Then 4b times negative 2, 4 times negative 2 is negative 8b. The last example, we have negative 3c. The first step is to multiply it by the negative 5c. So negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15. c times c gives us c squared. Then negative 3c times positive 1, which is negative 3c. We could also use algebra tiles. The expression 2c times 4c is the product of two monomials. We interpret the product with algebra tiles arranged to form a rectangle with the dimensions of 2c and 4c. So down this side is our 2c's. Across the top we have our 4c's. And to fill in the rectangle, each of those squares represents a c squared. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 c squareds. Multiplying a binomial times a monomial. So some more examples to look at. This first term gets multiplied by each term in the bracket. So 2x times 3x will give us 6x squared. 2x times positive 4, 2 times 4 is 8x. The second example, first step is negative 2x times negative 3x. So negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. X times x is x squared. Then negative 2x times positive 4. Negative 2 times positive 4 is negative 8x. Remember our exponent laws. So what do we do when we're multiplying the same bases? So if we have a cubed times a to the power of 4, remember that we would need to add our exponents. So we would end up with a to the power of 3 plus 4 is 7. So 5x times 3x is the same thing as 5x to the power of 1 times 3x to the power of 1. So we multiply the 5 times 3, the coefficients, and add the exponents in the variable to get 15x squared. So a couple of examples to try. Negative 3x, first of all, times positive 2x. Multiply the coefficients. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Then add the exponents for the variable. 1 plus 1 will be x squared. Then negative 3x times positive 7. So negative 3 times positive 7 is negative 21x. Part B, 5m times negative 2n. Multiply the numbers out front, or the coefficients. So 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. Then we have m's, add the exponents. 1 plus 1 is 2, so we have negative 10m squared. Then 5 times negative 3 is negative 15, and we just have a single m, exponent 1. Negative 5xy times 2x. Multiply the coefficients out front, so negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Then we have base x, so we have an exponent of 2 plus 1 will give us x cubed. Then we have a base y. We only have a single exponent for y, so there's our first term. Then we need to do negative 5x squared y times the second term in the binomial. So multiply the numbers out front. Negative 5 times positive 3 is negative 15. We have a base x, we only have 2. For our base y, we have 1 plus 1 will give us y squared. Last example for today, taking this monomial out front and multiply it times each term in the brackets. So multiply the coefficients. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. For the m's, we're going to add the exponents. 2 plus 2 is 4. For the base n, we're going to add the exponents. 3 plus 1 is 4. And for base 3, we have 2 plus 0 is just 2. Now we do that monomial times the second term and repeat that whole process. 3 times 2 is positive 6. For the m's, we have 2 plus 1 is 3. For the n's, we just have 3, nothing to add. And for the p's, 2 plus 3 is 5. Last step, that monomial times the last term in our polynomial. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. For the m's, we have m squared plus no more, so just 2. For the n's, 3 plus 2 is 5. And for the p's, 2 plus 6 is 8. All right, time to try some practice.